I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do?
Okay, so we just got home, so I want to fill you guys in, or like give you guys an IVF update. I think the last time we talked, I had went and done my HSG scan or whatever. And then after having it, I hadn't heard from my doctor in weeks. Like, I had called my nurse and let her know, like, hey, it was done. What are my next steps? And she was like, we have to wait on the doctor to review it, yada, 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 yada. So every week I would email and she'd be like, I can't get a hold of the doctor. I haven't been able to talk to him. Like, and I'm like, what do you mean you haven't been able to talk to him? She's like, I keep messaging him, but I'm not getting any response. First off, I'm like, that's real confusing to me that you're not able to get a hold of the doctor when y'all work in the same office and you're supposed to be anyway. So it took like 3 weeks for her to even be able to get a hold of him. He looks over my scans or whatever, and he says they're good and we're good to go. And so we received our next steps. Like, I paid for this cycle. It's $4,500. So I submitted payment for the entire thing. We had a tentative transfer date. Like, our transfer date was on the calendar. We, what else? During cycles day 1 through 3, I'm supposed to go in and get a suppression check, and then like my medication is ordered, and yeah, so all of it is done. Then today I get a phone call from my doctor, and I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm a lot of bit annoyed. I'm a little bit frustrated, but essentially my doctor, who has been MIA, I don't know where this man has been at. Honestly, my feelings about this entire thing, I'm all over the place. I apologize. But my feelings about the phone call I got from him are kind of mixed. On one hand, I'm like really frustrated. And then on the other hand, I'm okay. And yeah, it's weird. So he called me and informed me that we are not going to be able to transfer. And that we are going to have to postpone our transfer. Now, the reason that I am okay with this is because I'm supposed to be transferring on my next cycle. I'm currently on cycle day 20. And my cycles can go from anywhere to like 26 days to 60 days. And so I'm currently doing like OPKs to try to figure out when my period might start, all of that. But Adam and I and the boys have a trip planned to Disneyland next week. And so the issue is that if we were, while we're in Disneyland, or the issue is that I have been worried if I'm going to start my period in Disneyland. Mind you, I'm supposed to get the suppression checks during cycles day 1 through 3. And so if we're in Disneyland, our transfer is going to be pushed back a month anyway. And so I have just been in my head and worried about like, okay, are we going to be in Disneyland? What happens if we're in Disneyland and my period starts? Yada, 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 yada. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, that has taken like the worry and stress of Disney and the what ifs off of my plate. But on the other hand, I'm irritated because I saw this man back in November, right? I saw him back in November. He had all of my medical records at that time from my previous pregnancy. And so when he called me today, essentially what he said is, well, he was asking a lot of questions about my pulmonary embolism. If you've been following our journey and followed me through my pregnancy, you know, after having the boys, I had developed a pulmonary embolism. And I had to be on blood thinners for about 4 months. And so he was asking a lot of questions about that. He was like, did they do testing to find out if it was genetic? Why did you only do it for 4 months instead of 6 months? Where did the embolism start? Because typically, I guess, it's a clot somewhere else in your body that travels up. A piece breaks off and travels. So he's like, where was the initial clot? And listen, I don't have answers to none of these questions because I just don't know. With my pulmonary embolism, it was really weird. And so I'm trying to explain to him, like, listen, they just told me it was there. They said it was super tiny. I went and got a second opinion, and he was like, it's tiny. It's probably not even there, but just do the blood thinner. So I'm trying to explain to him, like, it was real sketch, this entire situation. And then even when it was time to get off of the blood thinners, they were just like, okay, you can stop them now, even though it hadn't been 6 months. So it was really, really weird. And so he's like, yeah, I looked over your medical records, and none of it's making sense. The way they handled my pulmonary embolism apparently was not the way you typically would handle it. So apparently we can't transfer until we know, like, why I developed the pulmonary embolism. Was it simply related to the pregnancy, or do I have some type of genetic disorder? And so I have to do, testing around that. And then they also want to know if I do have some type of genetic disorder or whatever, if I need to be on blood thinners during my next pregnancy. And so he said, until we have all of that figured out, we cannot transfer another embryo. Now I'm bad because, like I said, I saw you in November. Like, you used to have my medical records back then. There was this huge gap in time where all this testing could have been done. Like, why was it not done then? Why did you wait until the umpteenth last hour to sit here and look at my records and decide that, okay, yeah, now we need to get all this stuff handled? Like, I feel like this entire second cycle, I've been having like a lot of just like annoyed feelings, primarily because of the fact that like the attention and like the level of care is a lot different this round. During my first round of IVF, like, I don't know, they were just super attentive. Like, my nurse was always checking in on me. It was very much like, here's your regimen, here's this, here's this, here's this. And just like super, super supportive and like always there. Whereas this one, it's very disconnected, right? It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know. It just feels weird. And I don't know if it's because, like, okay, you already had one successful round of IVF. Our priority is like all of those other women who are trying to like have a successful first round. Which, if that's the case, I get. But I still feel like there should be some type of better level of care that is just not, I don't know. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But yeah, so we're not transferring as we were supposed to. We were actually supposed to be transferring next month. And now we don't have a transfer date. They took us off the schedule, and I had to send him the name of my previous OB, and he is going to have her put in the request for all of this testing to be done to make sure I don't develop another pulmonary embolism. So that's fun. But yeah, we don't know how long this is going to take. We don't know what the testing is or what it entails. He said there was a couple of specialists that he wants me to go see. And so right now we're just kind of in IVF limbo. Our cycle is paid for, and so I'm glad that's out the way. Now we're really just waiting to get all of that other stuff figured out so we can work on baby number 3, which is a little bit crazy to say. But yeah, that's the update. That's where we are in our IVF cycle. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Am I missing anything? So please continue to pray for us as we go through this process again. We can get them prayers rolling now for a successful transfer. And just like success with figuring out what's going on and if everything is okay, and do I need to be on blood thinners during this pregnancy? Is this a genetic thing with the pulmonary embolism? Like, what's going on? So please just keep us in your prayers. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for being on this journey with us. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, like, comment down below, leave us some words of encouragement in the comment section, because we need it right now, because I'm a little bit irritated. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in our next upload.